How's it going? I'm Chris, and welcome to another Our License to Travel. Oh yeah, this is Grizz. Today we're going to be talking about setting up your RV, specifically your new-to-you fifth-wheel RV. Now, we just set up our RV today, and we didn't want to waste a whole lot of time doing it because we just got into our new park and it's getting on into the day. And we haven't had lunch or dinner and wanted to be able to hit the pool before the sun went down. So we're going to run out and grab some dinner and try to get back before sunset. You know, you got to get that buttery smooth B-roll of those great southwestern sunsets. So we're going to show you how we set up our rig so that you don't waste a ton of time setting up yours. And you can actually get out and do the things that you want to do. Okay, let's do this, huh? Setting up your rig is one of those things you can easily take for granted the more you get comfortable doing it. But if you're new to RVing, or if this is your first few times with the fifth wheel, maybe you're boondocking, or it's late in the day, or just a new campground, it might get to be a little overwhelming. We'd like to go over a few steps to help you get started right. Now, you can make the process as simple or as complex as you'd like. I prefer the KISS system. That's keep it simple, stupid, more minimalistic. We want to be able to set up and tear down quickly. There's just times that we don't want to spend all of our time doing that. And there are other times, like when we're going to stay in one spot a little longer, and when others who really enjoy the process love to set out all of their tchotchke and make a home out of their site. You've seen those campgrounds where you're trying to figure out just what they had to leave behind to carry all of the yard treasures they've got. As long as they enjoy it, I guess. Today we're just looking at the essentials to get your rig set up the right way. Why don't we jump right in? Number one is how you pull into your site. Some will be a pull-through, almost always easier. Others will be a back-in, which is usually a little more challenging. But it is nice to have someone trusted, a spouse or significant other, to help guide you in and kind of be your eyes to the rear. Because face it, no camera that's backup camera is perfect. Before we start to back in, we like to get out and walk the site to see how we want to place the RV. Does it fit? Look for the most level areas where your water and sewer will hook up and where the power pedestal is. You want to make sure you can reach them all. Before you forget, make sure you have enough room for your slides to fully extend. You don't want to have to get all set up, disconnect your tow vehicle, start to open your slides, then have to hook everything back up to move. That would definitely be miserable. We like to keep a tape measure in our truck so we can grab it out of our center console. It's marked with the lengths of our slides so we can measure, and we'll know right off if we can open or not. Once we have it in the position we want and know it will be clear of obstacles, we level it up from left to right with the help of our LevelMate Pro and use the Anderson wedges. We've already done a video on this. We'll put a link up here. We put the wedges either in front of or behind the tires. That's both wedges on the low side, then just roll up on them. Give it a moment for any lag in the display. Then, when we've got it right, we shove the small wedge in opposite of the big ones, and it acts like a chock on that side. Then we use our Harbor Freight heavy rubber chocks on the other side. Some folks like to use those X chocks that go in between the tandem axles, but we really trust the heavy rubber ones. Next, we lower the front legs and raise the front just until it ever so slightly, that's about a quarter inch or so, clears the hitch plate so we can pull the vehicle away. Note, after making sure we've released the locking levers on the hitch and unplugged the trailer wiring cable and unhooked the e-brake cable. Once clear, we just level it up back to front. On our rig with the Lippert 6-point hydraulic leveling system, unless it's over 2 degrees or so out of level, we can just push the auto level button and we're done. Now it's time to move on and finish the job. We like to hook up power, then water. If we're gonna be there for more than a day or two, we'll set up the water softener and sewer. If it's only a day or two, we'll wait to do the sewer till just before we're ready to leave. That way, we're not having to handle them, the sewer hoses, 2 separate times. Just take them out, hook up, flush, put them away, and then away we go. We're done and back on the road again. We like doing our slides last because we have our black, gray, and galley tanks under our main slide. It just makes it easier not to have to crawl around under that slide and less chance of me banging my head on a slide. Figure out what works best for you and use it for your rig. Now, we have an onboard surge guard, so we'll unreel the power cord and connect it to the shoreline port on the rig and arrange the cord over to the pedestal. Make sure the 50 amp or 30 amp, if that's all your rig has, is flipped off. Then, if you have a circuit tester or diagnosing surge protector, check to make sure it's wired correctly. When done, plug your shoreline into the pedestal while it's off. Then, and only then, flip the breakers on. Note, when disconnecting from shore power, flip the breakers off first, then unplug. Less chance for arcing, which can damage both your cord and the pedestal. Now, all is ready outside. Shelly and Grizz will be inside and running the slides out and turning on the AC/heat, whichever is needed, and unpack what we need for the time that we're going to stay. Just so you don't think I forgot, when I hooked up the water, we always have a pressure gauge attached to the inlet side of the RV's water panel. That way, we have a couple of filters between it and our supply, protecting our pipes. Also, when you're hooking up your wastewater system, that's when you're staying for more than a few days, make sure you use those sloped, stinky slinky holders to keep the tubing off the ground. That's a requirement in most parks. And when we do, we'll make a quasi P-trap on one end or the other of the hose so we can leave the gray tank valve open, for laundry and showering purposes. We use a 45-degree adapter, a clear one, out of the RV so we can see when we're done emptying and to see when, after flushing the black tank, the water is relatively clean. Remember, keep the black tank valve closed till you're ready to dump. Saving a little bit of gray water as an after dump flush is a good thing too. If your stay is only for a few nights, for me, setup is done. If it's going to be longer, then I'll put out our Valterra stabilizer, or screw jack stands and possibly blocks and wedges can work as well, to limit the rocking in the RV. That's pretty much it for setup. Although if you're out boondocking or harvest hosting, lot docking, mooch docking, or big box store surfing, you're not going to have all these things to do. Also, if you've got a moment, check out our Patreon page. We're creating an amazing community of OLT insiders. There's a link in the Show More section below this video. Well, this is going to wrap up our setup process. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified of more of our videos, you can always tap that little bell icon. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. So if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Travel safe.